Hi, I'm Brendon Fernandez. The best part about being bald is that my hair is always done. The one thing I do miss is I don't get to read as many magazines, because you get to read magazines at the hairdresser. I'm an actor. I do a lot of work in theatre. I'm currently rehearsing some Shakespeare, so forsooth I must needs learn my lines. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. 'Cause when I'm at the beach, in my Speedos trying to tan my cheeks, this is how I roll. Come on, ladies, it's time to go. In my spare time, I play computer games. Dun, 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 and I cook. So when I heard about this show, I thought, this sounds like an epic level quest for me to level up my cooking skill and unlock the achievement that is your heart. This is my grandpa's recipe for beef stew. There's actually quite a lot of ingredients, but you'll see they're all very cheap. This is comfort food for me, which means simple food, kampong food. But as I think you'll agree, simple food can be really, really tasty. So in beef stew, our main ingredient is beef. Hi, morning, brother.
Yeah, hi,
how are you? I'm looking for something to make stew.
I have this one.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay, looks good.
Good for...
Yeah. Thanks, brother. See you next time.
All right.
So we got the meat. Let's go get some vegetables. Now, if you told me I had to eat all this veg in a salad, I'd cry. But one of the ways I found to trick my carnivore brain into eating this much veg is to stew it in with beef, really, and cook it into submission. That's my tip. Thank you, Auntie. So we got the beef, we got the veg, but what's Grandpa's beef stew without a special secret ingredient? Let's go get that. It's the spices that make it my grandpa's beef stew. Auntie, do you have cloves? Do you have black peppercorn, star anise, cinnamon, chinchalo? Chinchalo, let me show you what that is. Now, if you're Eurasian in Singapore, you're sometimes called grago. Grago is actually the small pink shrimp that's in chinchalo. This is just fermented shrimp paste, in other words, and we love this stuff. So if you're Eurasian in Singapore, you'll be eating this. These are the secret ingredients that make this stew, my grandpa's beef stew. Without these, you just have your typical Irish or English beef stew. With these, you get a taste that is typically and recognizably Southeast Asian and Singaporean. Okay, so we got the meat, we got the veg, we got the secret ingredients. We have everything we need to cook Grandpa's beef stew. Before I start cooking, I need to get everything prepared. If you want to use the Poncine French term, it's called the mise en scene. It just means having everything in the right place. This is very much my personality. It's almost like a game to me, and I like playing games, as you might have guessed. I guess I learned to cook by watching cooking shows on TV. And it was later on that I tried to reconstruct my favorite recipes, which were my grandpa's recipes, from memory. My ideal woman in real life is someone who is an equal, someone who has her own mind, someone who challenges me and helps me to grow as a person. My ideal fantasy woman is someone who does what I tell her to do all the time. Now that may sound like a lot of fun, but it's very unhealthy in real life. Okay, so here's the meat. These are the spices we're going to use. There's one last thing to do before we start, which is to chop up all the veg. So let's start with the potato. You could peel this, but I'm not going to because there's nutrients in the skin. So just half again. Cauliflower. So the vegetables are chopped, the meat's ready, everything is ready. From this point on, we can go really quick. There we go. You can already smell the aroma of cooking meat, which is a great thing for me. I just want to leave it alone. The temptation is to keep pushing it around. Just leave it alone, let it get that flavor base, which is the brown crust on the meat. So the beef has had enough time on one side now. We're just going to flip this over so that we can brown the other side. So the beef is ready now. It's time to get all this veg in the pot. As you can see, I tend to go a little bit overboard. This always happens, but you know, this is the only way I can fool myself to eat this much veg. So I'm Eurasian, I'm Grago. My mix is, on my father's side, Portuguese, Irish, and on my mom's side is Chinese. Yeah, that's who I am. And this dish is a Eurasian dish because it combines Western elements like beef stew with very Asian spices like star anise and cloves and cinnamon. It's now time to put the spices in. I put in quite a lot because I like it to be quite spicy, and once all the spices are in, give it a good stir. Cooking and acting share some things in common, I think. They're both, I like to think, art forms. So there is a science to it, but there's also a bit of heart. I think that if you're cooking for someone that you care about, it does come through in the food. I wouldn't want to cook on a perfect date, especially if it's an early date. I'd take her to eat something that she likes. But my contribution to the meal would be to insist on dessert. Because how can a day be bad when you're eating dessert? My grandpa could eat a whole chili padi just like that, raw, but that's about as much as I can handle. It's really quite hot. Right, our final condiment is chinchalo. Now, this is what you eat with your beef stew if you are really, really card-carrying Eurasian. What looks like out of the bottle is this. It's a fermented prawn paste, so it's quite pungent. It's the smell of seafood left on the beach to rot for a month. I'm not really selling it, but it is an acquired taste, and if you do love it, as I do, then you can't live without it. So here it is. There you have my grandpa's beef stew with a selection of condiments. I'm gonna do a little taste test. The soundness and sweetness from the ketchup really complements the meaty, rich flavor of the soup. This is what home tastes like to me. So you've seen how easy this is to make and how cheap the ingredients are. So something as good as this just has to be shared. So please try my grandpa's beef stew.